All right, welcome to our Makers Going to Make project for this month. Today we are going to be doing leather keychains, and I have the Illustrator files open in Illustrator so that I can edit them. So we're going to be creating this on our ULS laser cutter, and for that laser cutter you're going to be working in Illustrator and sending your files out of Illustrator. So right now in Illustrator, I have it open to the classic Essentials workspace. If you want to follow along with that workspace, what I recommend that you do is go up to Windows and then Workspace and Essentials Classic. So this file is in 3 layers. I'm going to find my layers palette here. The layers palette looks like this. And so there is a layer that is locked. There's the cut layer, and then there's the text and design layer. So if I turn off the layer that's locked, which is the instructions and sort of the placement, you get this. And this file is already set so that it will cut and engrave successfully. Well, let's turn this back on for a second here. So this purple box here is where you're going to want to strive to make sure that your text stays in. This is basically the room that you have to put your text. This file is in millimeters. It's a little easier to measure in millimeters because you don't have to worry about nasty decimal points. So that is why it's in millimeters today. But you're going to want to keep inside the purple box to make sure that your text is aligned correctly. Same thing on this side. Obviously, you don't have to put engravings on both sides. You could choose one side or the other. This down here is going to show you how, when it's folded up and assembled, how it looks. So this side here will have the little flap that holds the keychain on. This side will be completely without a flap, without any overlaps. This side is a little bit bigger. The box in this is a little bit bigger. So you can see here the space for text and design is 95 millimeters. Text for space and design is 85 on this side. On a whole, if we unclick this, unlock it, and look at this size of this box, it is 16.5 millimeters. So you have 16.5 millimeters of design space. A little less than an inch of design space is where this works out to be. So I have a design here that I created. You can certainly just make this design, or you use this design, or you can make your own. I'm going to turn off the designs for a second, and I'm going to turn off the instructions just so we can look at the actual cutting. This is already set to the color and the stroke point that we need it to be. But if I click on this and look at it, the stroke on this is 0.072, and the color on this is 255 red. This is an RGB setup on this file. Please do not change this, because if you do, the laser cutter will fail to recognize that you want this to be cut. The color and the points, the size of the stroke of the object is how we control the laser cutter and tell it whether we want something to be cut or something to be engraved. All right, so let's go back to our layers. So we're not really worried about the cut layer here. So we are more concerned about the text and the design. And this is what you're going to want to edit. Certainly you can delete the design that's in here. You can do that by just clicking and dragging to select it, then hit the delete key. Then you could use the text and add your own text. These guidelines here, these light blue guidelines, might be a little difficult to see in this video, but once you open the file, you'll see them. This is going to help you line up your text so that it is centered within the keychain. So you're going to go ahead and add text and a design. You could just go ahead and add a design. This project is really not meant for photo engraving, so I wouldn't recommend that you add a photo, but you could add a basic sort of icon or a black and white line art on this, but it really is kind of meant for text. So once you've got everything done, you can go ahead and send it to the printer. And there is another video, or send it to the laser cutter, and there's another video that will step you through how to set up the laser cutter.